Yo, what is up guys? In this video what we're going to be talking about is downshifting and rev matching. I'm going to explain everything you need to know about those two things. So yeah, we're going to go out on the road. I'm going to cover everything you guys need to know about downshifting and rev matching and some mistakes that people make when they are learning to do this, especially as a new rider. So make sure you guys stick around all the way to the end for this one. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is downshifting, and then I'll get into rev matching in the second portion of the video. Just because rev matching is a little bit more of an advanced technique, downshifting is something you can do as a beginner, but you need to know what you're doing. Now watch, I'm gonna go up to third here. I'm gonna go up to third. Right now I'm in third. I'm gonna downshift in a second. Now watch, when I downshift, I let the clutch out easy, all right? Pulling the clutch, downshift, easy out. You see that? That's very smooth versus this. This is what you don't want to do, okay? Now I'm in third. I'm gonna downshift in a second. See that? You hear that? It's hard to hear, but there's that little clunk. You don't want that. You want to be very smooth when you downshift. And that's why it's important to just practice. And you're going to see that rev matching is a bit harder than downshifting because you're doing a little bit more. But I'm going to get into that in a minute, like I said. So when you are downshifting, the RPMs are going to raise. When you're upshifting and going to a higher gear, they're going to lower. So it's the exact opposite. So I feed the motorcycle, like when I want to go faster, I'm going up. I'm basically just feeding it another gear. When I'm downshifting, I'm just using it to slow down a little bit. So watch, I'm going to go a little bit faster here, watch. Now watch, I'm going to downshift right here, slow me down. Not even using my brakes, not even using any of my brakes right here. All just the engine right here, just all the engine. You're instantly going slower when you let off the throttle on these kind of bikes, which I like because it's the stock tune. Now if I mapped it or something, obviously that wouldn't happen, which I don't like. Because if I let off the throttle, I would just be rolling. Like it wouldn't just be slowing down like this. It would be more of coasting. Like right here, watch. Let off the throttle, I'm gonna instantly slow down. Now if I downshift in a second, it's gonna bring me down even more. Downshift into first, now I'm going slower. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we want to use downshifting. All right, I'm in fifth gear right now. Now I'm going like 25. I don't want to be going, you know, I don't want to be in this gear right now. So what I do is I pull in the clutch, downshift into fourth, still going too slow, pull in the clutch, downshift again, but I don't just let it out. Remember, practice that. Don't just let the clutch go. That's not what we're doing. That friction zone is the most important thing to how to do this, guys. So practice. And if you guys rode dirt bikes before street bikes, that's where it's really going to help you out. For me, I rode dirt bikes before I ever touched a street bike. So I never had a tachometer, a gas gauge, you know, all this stuff, the gear, whatever, a gear indicator. I never had any of that. It's just all sound and just being with the motor, you know what I mean? Just in tune with the motor. So that's kind of what I mean by that. The biggest mistake you're probably going to make, so if you downshift and you're going too fast for that gear, you're going to get like a skid. You don't really want that. But it all comes down to just getting used to your bike and knowing how fast your bike is, because every bike's a little bit different. This bike's a sport bike, so it's a little bit faster. I got longer gears. So yeah. So that's downshifting, guys, and make sure we're doing this smoothly. That's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to do it smooth, guys, smooth. Now we're going to talk about rev matching, all right, and why you would want to rev match. First off, rev matching is just fun, dude. It just makes riding way more fun, man. Remember, if you guys have any questions for me, man, feel free to ask, man. I love teaching people how to ride, actually, because I've been riding for a while. So I'm like, hey, man, I can do this. I can teach people how to ride, you know? It's no problem for me. So basically what rev matching is the same thing as downshifting, but you're just giving it a little blip of the throttle when you downshift. And basically what you're doing is you're matching the RPMs with the gear you're about to go into. So remember how I said when you downshift, the RPMs are going to get higher because you're downshifting into a lower gear. So you're going to get higher RPMs. So basically what you do is you blip the throttle to match those RPMs. That's basically how you do it. And I'm going to show you guys some examples. So much going on here, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like I said, this is kind of a more advanced technique. You know, this isn't something you just learn right away. It's going to take some practice. It's going to take some getting used to your bike. So yeah, this is going to take some practice. Do not get frustrated. It just takes time, practice, and patience. All right. So this is what rev matching is. All right. I'm going a little faster. I'm going to downshift in a second and blip it and match the RPMs. Watch. See, just like that little blip, it just matches the RPMs versus just a downshift like this. See that? I kind of did it bad there because it kind of jolted on me, but you know what I'm saying? So the blip is just a blip of the throttle. Like right here, if I'm going around here and I'm trying to maintain my speed, I'd want to blip the throttle, downshift it, just so I can maintain those RPMs, accelerate out of there. So real quick, so if this video has taught you anything, or like, oh, you made a good point there or something like that, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. It really, really helps me out. Now I'm in first. Let's practice this right here. First, second. Remember, just stay around second and third. We're just practicing second and third right now. Here, third. Little blip of the throttle, come down just like that. And just practice, you know what I mean? Practice, practice, practice. And don't go too fast out here, especially now because you got leaves and stuff out here. Slip and fall, man. Don't look at me. I told you, man, only practice second and third. Don't be going all crazy, man. Don't be going all crazy. Work your way up. You don't want to rely on your tachometer. Pretend like this ain't even there. You know, just keep your head and eyes up. You could take a peek every now and then, but you want to rely on the sound of the engine. You're listening to it, okay? You're listening to the engine. I'm going to show you guys some examples up here. I kind of just blip the throttle naturally for me, just because, I don't know, it just sounds good. But all right, so I'm going to shift up in a second. Easy on the clutch, like I said every time. Shift up into third. Now watch, I'm going to perform a rev match. Now watch, I'm in third. Pulling the clutch, blip the throttle, boom, just like that. Rev match, just like that. That was a better one right there. Yeah, so that's basically a rev match. That's what you're doing. It sounds really, really cool when you have an exhaust system and everything, man. You could just, I don't know, it's just like, you really just have control over the bike, you know? You gotta get used to that clutch before you do any of this stuff. But like I said, downshifting is a technique that you guys want to learn early. Anytime you emergency brake, you're going to be downshifting. So it's just something you want to learn, guys. So right here, look. Boom, just like this. And remember that technique I told you? Look, inside, outside, rev out of there, just like that. So you're just coming out of the apex of the turn. And all these things I'm teaching you from episode 1 to episode 2, they all come in together. You don't want to be thinking about it either, too. Like, at first, you're going to be thinking a lot. You're going to be downshifting this, that. There's a lot of thinking, you know what I mean? Like, how do I use the clutch? How do I use the brakes? This, that, that. But soon, you're going to become, like, kind of like a guitar player. You're not going to have to just stare, you know, at your fingers and this and that. It's going to just be like you're just in tune with the motor and you're just riding the bike, man. So my biggest tip would just be take your time and don't be trying to do stuff outside of your skill limit. That's why it's important to be on a bike that is not too fast. That's why I emphasize that too. There's an art to everything, man. I realized with anything, you could be riding a motorcycle, you could be jump roping, you could play guitar, you could do karate, man. There's an art to everything, man. You ain't just gonna get it. All right, guys, so that's probably gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Check out my Instagram. I'll put the link in the description. And remember, this is episode 2 of a series. I don't know exactly how many episodes I'm gonna do yet. So if you guys haven't watched the first episode of how to ride, it's gonna just teach you clutch control, just everything you need to know, all the basics and everything, so you can get up to this point, because I wouldn't start doing this until you learn like the first steps. Thank you guys for the support, man. I really appreciate it. I'm excited, man. We're just getting started. So I'll see you guys in the next video, man, and have a good one. Take care. Peace.